Aerospaces. Thanks for coming out. I'm Brittany. I'm going to start with, are there any announcements? I know Steve's going to have one. You have one every time.
May 15th, sign up Eventbrite. We're going
What
to
day?
May 15th,
May
Tuesday, 757 pitch. And that's going to be at the percolator, so that'll be all kind of interesting.
Okay, so
and a lot
very
of fun.
first day?
And those, is anyone here not been to the percolator?
I've been.
You need to take a tour of that place. That is unbelievable as a co-working space.
Yeah.
He just added another 20,000 square feet on across the street.
Where is it?
It's downtown Norfolk,
Granby Street.
Right across. Matter of fact, I'll tell you where you park. You park in the Monticello, you know, not the Monticello, you park over at, down at the mall down there and walk across, cheapest parking in town.
Yeah.
And you walk across, it's right across from TCC,
Up above the subway.
above the
Yeah,
subway.
above Subway
Oh,
and
above
the
the
gym,
Subway.
the downtown gym is right there beside.
Oh,
the second
yeah,
floor.
that was one in there before,
Yeah.
and the guy went bankrupt or something.
Yeah.
That was the other one, and Bobby Wright bought it, he now owns the Granby Theater, which he's redone. And he's also bought like 15,000 square feet across, and he's building an entrepreneur community, is what his intent is.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's a
That was all in the paper Sunday, right?
What's that?
Article in the paper Sunday. about it.
Yeah, and you'll
Yeah,
see
yeah,
Bobby
sure
doesn't
was.
get in the paper, he usually advises better just do your job and then.
Okay, 757 pitch, May 15th. Anything else? I know startup night is at 1701.
31st.
May 3rd, thank you. May 31st. That's it? That's all we got? That's it? Really? The whole month of May? Wow, slackers.
And look
Okay.
outside, it's beautiful.
Is anyone here for the first time? Oh, welcome. Well, thank you for coming. We're at 1 Million Cups. We meet every Wednesday morning from 9 to 10 a.m. here at Stratford University. We're one of over 100 communities now, I think. Sponsored 150?
160.
I think up to 177.
Okay, so lots. We're like number 73, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sponsored by the Kauffman Foundation out of Kansas City. So we have a presenter every morning, give them 6 minutes to present, and then we grill them with Q&A. Over a cup of coffee. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Jimmy Olivero with LYFTED Media. He's going to present for us today. Good? All right.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, well, thank you guys for having me. I'm very excited to present my company. When I was offered this opportunity, I was kind of out of town, and it kind of took us a couple of days to get it right, but we got it right, and I finally made it. But my name is Jimmy Olivero. My company is LYFTED Media. We started LYFTED Media. It's a good time to be here because we are celebrating our year anniversary this month, so that's great for a small business. But even though the company's been around for a year, I've been in the unmanned aerial systems service provider industry since 2006. So I joined a startup, helped the startup grow in 2006. We were flying large-scale helicam systems for Discovery, Nat Geo, ABC, NBC News, and you know, as with any startup, you know, my partner and I, we split after many years and many jobs together. He kind of went another way, and I formed LYFTED Media. The reason I formed it because of the demand for drone service providers that are licensed and insured. In today's age, anybody can have a drone, but it's important to have experience, have an FAA license, and be insured when you're doing service work for somebody else. But I also started the company because we developed a new product that I'm very excited about, and Hampton Roads Company has a 3-year contract with Madison Square Garden in New York City, the world's most famous arena. So our company is very excited about that, and we're flying large 8-foot diameter blimp cameras for sports and live events. So this is a product that I think might set us aside than what you see here. This is an Inspire 1 drone that was built by DJI, a Chinese drone maker. But now we're flying these large-scale blimp cams. We're making them out of Germany, and we are just very excited to offer that to the United States, to arenas across the U.S. We have one arena, and we're looking for many more, even here locally. You know, looking to get hooked up with the arenas here. But LYFTED Media is a company of just 3 people. We also have you know, pilots in other states that will provide these services when our customers need us and they don't have the money to pay for the travel. You know, but we're growing. We're looking to grow. And believe it or not, a lot of my work is not in Hampton Roads, although I live like right around the corner. So one thing I'd like to do is grow in Hampton Roads. When I pitched this in Hampton Roads like 10, 12 years ago, it didn't work. Nobody seemed to get it. They didn't understand what it was. But in New York, the market was just unbelievable. New York and California. So I think the time is right to finally come home for a little bit and do some work. So this is the company, Lifted Media. I want to show you a little bit of the blimp cam so you can see that. So you can see exactly what we're talking about and what we do. But while this plays, is that okay? Is that all right? Okay. This is just a short little video of us performing the services in Madison Square Garden. It's a two-man team to operate the blimp. And I'm the chief pilot, and then I have my assistant that stays up in the crow's nest and will undock the blimp and push it off and then retrieve it when I fly it back to him. And this blimp is really for fan engagement and provides the fans with a chance to get on screen, get on camera. And it looks small, but it's approximately 8-foot diameter. And there's my assistant docking it, shutting off the batteries, and there's there's the screen. So we can see the live feed. A lot of the fans will dance and jump around, just wave. Yeah, but there you go. So this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to bring new technologies to Hampton Roads, new pilots that have experience in this industry, and also work with current Hampton Roads drone operators and pilots to grow the industry here, to maybe create a Hampton Roads club. Maybe we can get our own flight park, and eventually maybe our own racing warehouse where we can actually train and race drones. So that's what we're looking to do. Thank you. Now the grilling starts, right?
What's your pricing model?
Pricing model? Well, pricing is all based on production pricing. So and it's all custom too. I don't have any cookie cutter prices. Production prices are based on time on location. So do you want to hire me for a half day or a full day? And then pricing is also on payload. So this is mainly my workhorse drone. I have a small one, and if you want me to lift a smaller drone, it'll be a little less inexpensive than this drone. And then this drone will be less expensive than my next tier that can carry 15 to 20 pounds of equipment. And sometimes we're flying $80,000 worth of equipment in the air. But also I have to consult on what's the right drone or the right output, the right camera resolution for your job. So that's basically the pricing.
What's the flight time typically on the battery of those?
Flight times anywhere from 22 minutes, 22 minutes for these, 25 minutes maybe. The smaller ones you can get up to 30 minutes, and then the larger drones maybe 10 to 12 minutes.
So if you're hired for a half-day production, you just land and swap out batteries and you just keep flying?
Oh yeah, we have I have like maybe 20 battery sets for the Inspire, and multiple battery sets for the other drones, so we're not, production is not down.
So when you sell a full package, you're also doing at the end the editing and putting together with music if they want, or you're just providing the raw tape?
That also depends on the client.
Okay.
So most of my customers are production agencies where they want this. So I'm just capturing the data for them, and I'm handing over the SD cards at the end of the shoot, and they're going to process and edit. But we can also be hired for full production. We have editors, editing software that can edit pretty much anything. Anyone else?
You own the blimp?
Do we own the blimp? We do. Basically the way the blimp works, we manufacture. MSG bought the blimp, so they purchased it. You can lease it or purchase it. Yeah, so it all depends on the model for the customer and what they want to do. Some want to lease a blimp for a certain amount of years, and some want to have their own blimp built for them, a custom build.
So you don't have to haul it around the country?
Correct. Yeah, I don't have to haul it. Yeah, the blimp in MSG is in a special. We have 2 of them stationed there in a special storage place. Then my guys will come out, provide, build them again once the season starts, fill it up with helium, and then test fly it, make sure it's ready to go for game time.
Have you gotten this in front of this DHS CBP guys?
No.
Got to.
Yeah, well, that's definitely why I'm here. I want,
5-6 June, we had the presentation here 3 weeks ago.
Catapult?
The catapult, offsetting research folks will be here.
yeah, awesome.
It's in June,
5-6 June.
5th and 6th.
5th to 6th. Complain about the price, it's gonna stay cheaper.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you can find that video on our Facebook page.
Okay,
to
cool.
see that.
I'll definitely check that out. Yes, sir.
Yeah, well, I got 2 questions. One, what do you do for the noise? Those things aren't godly noise.
Say it again?
What do you do for noise? You know, like for filming or something, sometimes I've heard they're just, you know.
Yeah, there's really nothing you could do for the noise or anything like that. I mean, it doesn't capture the sound. Some drones will, but usually you can't do anything about the noise while in operation. But in post-production, that's very easy to take out and overlay music on top of it.
What about the blimp?
Oh, the blimp is very lightweight motors, very small, lightweight motors.
So you don't even hear it?
You don't even hear it. Sometimes you don't even see it, yeah. You can hear it obviously when we're practicing and the arena's empty, but once the game's going and the fans are loud, you can't hear the thing.
You know Bill Fredericks out of Advanced Aircraft?
No, I can't say I do.
He's doing hybrid
Nice.
fuel. His flight time's like 45 minutes.
That's where the industry's going, yeah, that's true. They're trying to extend flight time. They just got a call
He's
from
using it for more military.
Yeah, I got a call from a company in San Francisco that's building a quadcopter that can fly for 2 hours. And they want to do some experimentation, so. Yes, sir.
What makes your company different? There's,
Good question.
these type of companies are popping up every day
Everywhere.
just about. So what makes you
Well-
different and what's your sweet spot?
Yeah, what makes us different is that we've been doing it since 2006. I'm sure in 2006, a lot of you guys weren't even thinking of this technology. So we were experimenting with this since before 2006 and then started a company in 2006 based out of New York City. And we immediately made our money back within the first year. So what makes us different is experience. We're experienced to handle any project, whether it's for infrastructure. We do focus on 3 areas, cinema, Hollywood and TV production. We focus on commercial and residential real estate and also inspections. And then we focus on the blimp cameras. So those are the 3 main things that we're focusing on. But our sweet spot is really film and TV. The drone you see right here is filmed 3 feature films up in New York City. One is coming out in theaters very soon. It's with one of the actresses from Game of Thrones. And it's just it's a comedy love story. But that's our sweet spot, is working. We know how to work with production. We know how to work with directors. We're very easy to get along with. We don't mind taking orders and having people give us instruction on what to do. We also like to collaborate with the team and let them know what our capabilities are and what the drones can do. Sometimes there's a disconnect.
Yeah.
But our sweet spot is really customer service. I heard a lot, a lot of companies started popping up and nobody was answering the phones, they didn't understand the business side of drones. They thought, hey, I have a drone, I'm gonna get business, and that's what they thought.
Yeah.
So a lot of customers were dealing with, inexperienced business people, But I think what separates our company is, like I said, our experience talking with people and, dealing with government, dealing with city, municipalities, and just having that experience to fly drones in certain situations is important. Yes, sir.
Are you interested in going beyond the visual line of sight for pipelines and railroads and power lines?
That is not a big focus of our company. It is interesting for the industry,
Yeah.
but I think we're more, most of my jobs are with production and film and things like that. I do inspections, and we got a contract to 3D map certain buildings around the country for solar panel installations. And we use a software called Pix4D to analyze and put together 3D models with our images. But the commercial aspect of beyond line of sight, visual line of sight, it's not something that we have gotten contracts with or really focusing on moving into. But it is very interesting, and we'll definitely promote that and look into it.
Yeah. When the rules are relaxed enough to,
Correct.
that industry, I think it's going to take off exponentially.
I agree, and I just saw a picture yesterday of the first drone built to FAA specs for beyond visual line of sight.
Yeah.
So I'll email that to you.
I got another thing for you. We mentioned percolator, Bobby Wright in downtown. He's rented his spaces out over the years to production companies. There's more films being done in this area than what people realize.
That's correct.
So he's
I've worked on 3.
Yes, and he's put together, have you been involved in that networking thing? He's put together a group of producers, film people, production people.
Correct.
Yeah,
I just heard about it. Just
Yeah,
recently.
so, I'll give you a card, we'll get you connected with
That's
Bobby,
fantastic.
and so you can get tied into that group.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Yeah, your drone cam, is that also outside or just inside? Do you have a bigger drone that you custom make for outside of?
Are you referring to the blimp cameras?
Yeah.
The blimp cameras are ideal for indoor spaces, but they can fly outdoors. You have to build them a certain way, add heavier weights,
Yeah.
possibly larger motors.
Right.
But we have built some concept art for the MLB teams, and we put them in front of a couple of decision makers. So we'll see how that goes, but we can build to spec blimps that can fly outside. And they have, our company, our partners in Germany have flown around a tower in China with pretty much the same blimp that we're flying at MSG.
If the wind isn't too strong.
Correct, it's all, yeah, you have to fly it on certain days or the weather is very important.
Yeah, the wind is.
Hey, what's up?
So the blimp, what is a soft material, I assume? Is it translucent?
No, it's not translucent. You know, the blimp it's like a beach ball.
Okay.
You know, obviously the material is a little bit different, but it's like a beach ball.
Okay.
You know, it's very lightweight. It can't hurt anybody. The rotors are encased. We're not encased. We have prop guards built around them that we 3D print. But it really is a beach ball.
And they're made in Germany?
Correct.
Okay. Well, I was thinking like for application like that, you need a projector inside. There are tiny projectors.
That's where it's going to.
You just project some image outside, and you know.
You're exactly right. You hit it right there. That's what we're going to start doing. That's what's going to happen.
Okay.
You're going to have projections on these. But another thing that Madison Square Garden did, not with our company, we helped out a little bit, but they now have drone swarms. So you have 32 micro drones that are flying in choreographed with the Nick City dancers. That are not even, they're just automatic. You just, hit the computer. There's a computer station. There's RF boxes that are placed on the court. When the dancers come out, the drones will take flight and they'll dance with them. And then the dancers will turn around and catch the drone at the end of the flight. So it's some of the most amazing stuff I've ever seen. It's kind of like that Intel.
The Intel.
The
Yeah.
Intel, yeah. This is a technology out of Switzerland. So, yeah. So we need some more U.S. companies doing this.
I have a couple questions.
Yeah.
Are you guys looking to hire more drone flyers to pick up like smaller gigs around the area?
Yes, we're always looking to grow the company, to create a network, also to create even a social flying club that we can, go out and meet and train people. So yes, Lifted Media is currently looking to expand. We do have jobs in different markets that some of our top pilots can't be all the time. So we are looking for other pilots. So.
Yeah, I just got my first DJI, so I'd love to
Awesome.
I'd love to be involved with that when it comes around.
Awesome.
Good luck if you can fly it around here, though. Yeah, it's all restricted zone in this area.
Right.
also.
Yeah.
Yeah, hobbyists isn't a problem. You're right about that.
Commercial's a nightmare.
Yeah, commercial. Yeah, I mean, I've been involved in several lawsuits with the FAA. It was, through the years because of their the way that they have restricted this kind of industry in a sense, and what was really sad was when Google and Amazon had to take their drones to other countries to test them because the FAA wouldn't allow them to test them in the U.S.
Australia.
I couldn't make sense of that. We should be leading this technology effort. But one time, very sad story. I hate to bring it up, but it kind of makes sense in a way. The FAA told us we couldn't fly a drone in a desert in California for a Discovery Channel military-style reality show where you had men marching in formation. We were going to fly on the side, not over them, on the side, the camera angled down. They said it was too dangerous. So we lost the job, didn't make the money. They hired a helicopter. The helicopter had 3 passengers. It crashed, and those 3 guys died in that crash. And Discovery Channel was sued over this. Very sad. I don't want to, I'm not trying to capitalize it, but this is the point of using drones. You know, especially in areas that are not, I'm not talking, we're not flying in New York City in the middle of Manhattan. I'm talking about a desert, open desert, where if the drone crashes, it's replaceable. But those 3 guys weren't replaceable, and it's just this is where we need more cooperation with FAA, more cooperation with local cities, and it's happening. It's definitely happening. I have several apps on my iPhone where I can check the airspace to see what restrictions exist, and soon I'll be able to file for permissions right through that app. All you got to do is pop in your name, your FAA license number, and the nature of your flight, and soon you'll be able to get permissions in no time. But this gentleman just said, what was your name again? I'm sorry.
James.
James, what James just said, for a hobbyist, it's not a problem. But for professional guys that do this for a living, there's more red tape and restrictions that you have to overcome just to even get. I've lost business because the companies can't wait for the FAA to give you permission. You know, I can go to the city of Norfolk today or city of Virginia Beach and get a permit to film on the streets in no time. But ask for a drone permit and, the FAA will take 90 days to approve it.
If you're lucky.
Yeah, if you're lucky. That's right.
Are you familiar with AUVSI, that organization?
I am, definitely am, yeah. I've been to several shows in the past, but now building up my own company, we're just not in like a mode where we're going, but a buddy of mine's there.
Well, there's a chapter meeting the end of this month.
Oh,
Here in
perfect.
Boulder.
Where do they meet? Do they meet in Williamsburg?
NIA, National Institute of Aerospace.
I just met with Daniel Morris.
He's the guy, so yeah, okay, you gotta go to the meeting then.
Yeah, Daniel Morris and I had a big meeting, and I'll be joining that organization. Actually, I have to go and fill some paperwork out with the city of Hampton this week. But yeah, thank you very much for bringing that up.
What is the organization? You don't know.
Association for Unmanned Vehicle Systems International, I think.
I'm sure you're a member of Virginia Production Alliance?
AUVSI.
Correct.
Okay.
I don't know if I have renewed my membership, but
Okay.
I was a member in the past, but thanks for bringing that up. Listen, I just got home recently. I've been on a whirlwind in New York and several states filming and operating the blimps. We operate over 100 games a year at MSG. So, so I lived in New York City in the winter. It was rough.
Good idea.
Yeah, I know, it was rough, but the food was great.
Well, I mean, let's say we have an organization here. We want to have a video of 3 hours. Probably 1 camera. How much does it? Can you give us like an estimate, not a binding price? Just for a reference.
So for reference, well, okay, so certain equipment will be about $250 an hour based on a 4-8 hour day, $150 an hour for smaller drones, and then my larger drones we charge anywhere from $5,000 to $6,000 a day with a 2-man team to operate.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a good.
Yeah. It could be lower though. I mean, but those are the normal, hourly rates. If you want to look hourly of what
Okay.
And like I said, it also depends on the payload. How heavy the camera is, the risk involved in the shooting. A lot of different things will go in the pricing of a drone production, and we can't say yes to every job. It has to make sense.
And I assume that you have zoom cameras because most of the drones don't have zoom and wide angle, so you can't really zoom into anything. But
No, what I have is just interchangeable lenses.
Okay.
From 15 millimeter open, wide open lens to 45 millimeter. The zoom cameras that you might be talking about.
or a zoom lens, because if you take a video, aerial video, if you want to get far enough, you get
It's all
almost
wide
like
open. It's a wide angle lens. Well, I just changed my lenses though.
Okay.
I have various lenses that can crop in and get in a little closer, tighter for that parallax effect of the cinematography.
Mm-hmm.
How are you getting the word out and finding more business? What's your marketing strategy?
So that's a good question. Being that I was in the industry for a long time, it was a little easier, than just a regular startup, because I've already had connections. I've already been in the business. People knew me. But let's talk about 2006. In 2006, when we started the other company, our main focus was just online. And we didn't do any traditional marketing, and still today, online is where I'm getting all my leads and business. And you know, there's so much data. My social media manager just told me, Jimmy, this post that you posted got this many views, this many people looked at it, and then they dropped off at about 40 seconds. So what we need to do is experiment with a 30-second video clip of just some of your work. So this is great data, and this is all through social media. You know, so now we're going to experiment with 30-second Instagram clips, or 30-second videos, just to post and keep out there so people can remember us. But I think this is where we're getting the most return of our investment. I launched Google AdWords with maybe a $1,500 monthly budget, up to $1,500 a month. Landed one job, and the job paid like $2,500. So even using paid ads is a good way to brand your company and also get, because you have to, with the paid ads, you're going to be right at the top of the page. The natural listings, they take a little longer, to achieve, but online is where we're getting most of our business.
Yeah, are any of the other arenas beside MSG using this type of technology? Is this proprietary to your company right now?
No, it's not proprietary to our company. We're looking to, we're the only ones doing it in the U.S. at the level that we're doing it at, basically.
So no other arenas are doing this?
One other arena, the Las Vegas Golden Knights, they actually purchased a blimp similar to ours from another company, and they used that. I don't know, we actually went out there, my other partner in New York went out to a game and saw the blimp in action, but I don't know what their details are as far as contract-wise and things like that, but it wasn't flying for every home game, But yeah, there are other blimp companies out there, and we hope it continues. Competition is always good. Yeah, buddy.
So the video that you're capturing from the blimps, is that being fed to the networks, or is it just for the arena itself?
It's being fed to the arena. So basically we have a SD card, it's a GoPro camera, very lightweight. We have SD cards in there, so it's being recorded to the SD, but there's a live recording in the director's booth.
Gotcha.
So
the network can pick it up.
Sorry?
The network can pick up the video.
If they want to, yeah.
Gotcha.
We don't fly during actual game play. We're flying pre-game, halftime, period intermissions for hockey. So it's really for the fans. Because if you've ever been to MSG, the second level and the top levels, the cameramen, like yourself, with the cameras and the wires, they can't get up to these, the top levels. And so this blimp was created so we can get these fans more engaged, engage them a little bit more. And
Can you get your Lifted Media logo on the blimp?
yeah, of course you can. Yeah.
There's some rich folks in those booths.
That's right. Yeah. Well, I wear this shirt at MSG, so I'm always getting some people asking me.
Where are you as a business? Where were you revenue-wise? Where are you going? Great idea, super idea. I'm glad you're coming in. If you were talking to a group of investors, potential investors, how would you? Where are you as a business?
That's a good question, and I've been really bad on the business end. I'll be honest with you. We're still determining a lot of those things. Where we're still trying to figure out where are we. If investors were to come on board, how would we talk to them, and what would we tell them, and how do we open up the books to them and tell them. But as a business, I would say, I'm not in. We are a startup, I would say. We're a year old. Although I have 10 plus years behind this industry and experience, but as far as Lifted Media, we're only a year old, and we're actually getting contracts and working in the industry. And not only customers that I know, new customers are reaching out to us and seeing some of our work. But so we're not really in that startup mode. We're just in that growth mode.
You're accelerating.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
There you
you've
go.
gone from startup. Startup is like kind of cobbled together.
Correct. No, yeah, we're
You've already gone beyond that.
I've gone beyond that, and
We're accelerate mode.
there you go, accelerate mode. I'm looking to grow, looking to expand, looking for leadership partners.
How are you financing that?
Yeah, well, through the customers. Any job that I get, we put a certain amount aside for marketing and advertising, a certain amount aside that goes into that stays in the business for our monthly bills.
Do you get paid up front?
Well, I typically ask for 50% deposit, and then 50% once the job is complete and the footage is turned over, which is pretty typical. You know, small business can't survive off of that, 30-day, 90-day pay.
No.
I'll take those contracts if I have to, but, a lot of the customers will pay a deposit to book you, and then, to block, so on the calendar I can block their date out, and now it belongs to them. And then we typically get the balance due once the footage is delivered. Because a lot of the times I'm working with the client on location. So a footage could be approved right there. And sometimes I'm sent out with a shot list, Jimmy, this is what we need to capture. And those I'll be a little bit more relaxed on collecting the payment until they see it and approve it. But that's how we fund a lot of our things. We deposits up front.
Yeah.
Deposit, we need a deposit.
If you can keep doing that, if your
Correct.
clients are willing to give you half up front.
Yeah, most of them are. Most 90% of the clients are willing to give a little up front. They understand that if they don't give me the money up front, then I can get another booking. And if that client pays me, then see you later. I have to do this job. This guy paid me, you didn't. And that's happened before, so some had to learn the hard way. Yeah. Yes?
Is that in your deal memo with them?
As far as what, the
payment?
Yeah, I always put that into the contracts, 50% deposit, and, and some people will ask for a soft hold, meaning, they don't even know if they're gonna get the job, So stuff like that I just put on the calendar, but I don't tell my wife about it. So she doesn't get excited about, money if it's not coming in. Oh, you're recording me, huh?
Well,
Yeah.
we can edit, I guess.
That's right, creative editing.
Gonna check your pockets.
Yeah, but you know how that is. My wife, she tells me, she's like, I don't want to hear of opportunities unless there's money in the lifted media account. And I'm like, and I learned that. I was like, okay, you won't, And then she asked me, well, hey, you haven't talked to me about anything yet. You told me not to say anything. Yeah.
How are you gonna manage your growth? Because obviously you're gonna have to add crews, pilots of some description,
Right.
observers, whatever. But eventually it's gonna become a management nightmare. You're not gonna be able to do your flying yourself. You're gonna have to sit around and just tell other people to go fly, but you wanna fly yourself. So
Yeah.
how are you gonna manage, as you grow, as you take on more jobs and more employees, and how are you gonna deal with all that?
That's a good question. So the good thing is I've had experience doing that. We were growing the old company that I was a part of. We had one pilot, and he was the main owner of the company. And one time I booked maybe 25 jobs in 1 month. And he was all over the US and went out of town out of month once, and he came back home and told me, Jimmy, no more jobs. He's like, I need a break. And that led us to find other pilots. So we actually established a long time ago an office in Los Angeles. It's not there anymore, but we have contracted pilots that we still work with. But we had LA, Miami, and Atlanta at one time. And we had contracted pilots in those states. Some of our equipment was actually there. And some was the other pilots that we hired had their own equipment. So it worked different ways. So basically I became the business manager of that. So just like I said, I talked to a customer, a job would come in, deposit, would you like to book us right now? Yes? Okay, great. It's on the books, and then I contract the pilot, he signs an agreement with us, and that's if it goes that way, I'd kind of be happy to, keep running it that way if things pick up. Right now I love flying, and I'll still continue to fly, but if it goes to the point where I'm managing the business and contracting pilots, then, so be it.
I would think that since you're already in sporting events and the venues that you mentioned, that colleges and universities would be a great market for you also.
Yes, we're currently looking in Virginia, for major colleges. I'm looking for ODU, Ted Conson Center, Norfolk Scope. They obviously they may not have a lot of the games like the pro teams, and also I'm looking for 2-team arenas. So like the Knicks and the Rangers play at Madison Square Garden. You have 2 sports, and you basically get 42 home games apiece. So that's 80-something games that we're contracted for a year. If they make the playoffs, then we're also contracted to work every home playoff game. So I'm looking for Verizon Center. I'm looking for, and I'm reaching out to some people. It's going a little slow, but it'll happen. It'll pick up. Yes.
It sounds to me, I'm ignorant of all this stuff, but it sounds to me like you're almost operating as a broker type thing. So when you contract with other pilots, and are they using their equipment? And how do you control that quality type stuff?
That's a good question. So yeah, pilots that sign on with us, I mean, you have to have you have to have that quality, behind us. And sometimes you're taking a chance on guys, and it may never work again. It's happened before, But the way we control that too is sometimes, in the past I did show up to the location. I was like the production manager while we had another pilot, and sometimes they'll use our equipment. If they don't have a certain camera, I'll ship it to them. Some of these cameras are, I could change this camera in a heartbeat, and add a zoom camera, it just pops right off. So this camera, I said it popped right off. Yep, this camera, you can put it in a box and ship it if somebody doesn't have this camera. So we in the industry we will, and I kind of know the guys already. But for new guys and new teams, of course, there's a lot of training involved, a lot of, I want to see what they've done. They can put together a reel for me. And, we look for a lot of different things, but, it can be controlled with the proper mentoring, training for new people. And then sometimes you take a chance at a guy out of state. You just see his work, you see his business, you see that he is licensed with his city, licensed with the FAA. So typically guys like that are they're serious about their business, Thank you.
What's your workflow at an event?
At like MSG event, you mean?
Like a broadcast event.
Okay, so like a broadcast event. Well, I've done, everybody's heard of Formula E, the e-car racing? Well, they did a big Formula E in Brooklyn. You had Richard Branson, you had all these people with cars there. So we did a broadcast event. We flew the Fox Sports live drone broadcast for Formula E. So the workflow there is just showing up early in the morning, testing out all the gear and equipment. The FAA actually gave me a radio with a certain button that they said don't press it unless you have an emergency. Yeah.
So you're integrated into their production van.
Correct. Yep.
How are they receiving you?
They're receiving us through our RF systems, or through some of the RF systems that we've used. It's set up through I don't do that technical part, but that's basically an RF system. You can also do an HDMI out from one of our radios, but you can broadcast right live to the trucks. I've used one of these drones for a live Today Show, where we tracked a guy, Jimmy Hunt, going down a water slide, the world's longest inflatable water slide. And we had our cameras just hooked right up to through the radio. You have different plugins in the back here, and you can just tap right into any satellite truck. You can take a look at it. Tap into satellite trucks, and you can get the live feed, 1080p feed.
Does this have Bluetooth?
It has a it's not Bluetooth enabled. It basically has it has a LightBridge system, so it's basically a video. It's LightBridge is a video feed.
It is first person.
Okay, can you send that to a phone?
Yes, you can. But through this here.
I mean wirelessly.
Yeah, wireless. Oh no, not wirelessly. Not
This
this
is the
one.
broadcast quality.
Not this one. You have other drones that you can send through Wi-Fi through a phone. Like the smaller drones you can send through a phone.
You're sending this to the station, you're picking it up, you go off the station.
You're not buying that at Walmart.
Yeah.
It is first person view, so you see whatever, like the smaller drones, the Phantom 4s or 3s, they actually, you can view it on your phone, and then you can broadcast it. Your software, you can broadcast the same image through your software if you are thinking of that.
Yes.
Would you say that most of your clients have that? In other words, not your clients, but your freelancers out there. do they have this sort of gear, or do they have something that could broadcast to a phone?
Yeah, all the freelancers out there that we may work with will have, typical, the Inspire 2 is a drone that a lot of filmmakers and drone pilots have. This in some cases, this is the smallest one they have. And then they'll have larger drones. But smaller drones like the DJI Spark, that works off a Wi-Fi signal. So you'll connect to it generates its own Wi-Fi. When you turn it on, you connect to it through your phone, and you're able to see the live view.
So most of your clients, most of your freelancers then are supplying video, either live or recorded, to your client.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think that's what the distinction is between professional and hobbyist.
Yeah.
How much is that gear, that equipment?
Yeah, so this full package with all the battery, I mean, the drone itself with the camera, and the Apple ProRes Cinema DNG license is about $6,200. But then you have to add on a second radio, because this is a dual operator drone, so I fly it, you control the camera. This way it's, the director is getting what he wants and the pilot is focused on safety. Yeah, focused on safety, and I prefer to fly that way. Excuse me. So with this whole package, maybe about, could be 12 to 15,000 depending on what kind of things you get. And I've already upgraded lens options. Lenses are $350 to $600 a piece. I got 4 lenses. 2 crystal sky monitors cost $900. Sorry?
You say you were in the industry.
Yeah, well, I was in more online industry, but I did dabble in photography. Growing up in New York City, I was always into film. I dabbled in photography and video, but I also did fly remote control as a kid, as a hobby. Of course, we're all interested in planes and anything that flies. Yes.
Have you thought about working with smaller governments that don't have their own drones systems for festivals that they have for security concerns, teaming up with a police officer and flying over Neptune Festival or something like that? Concerned in the wake of what happened in Las Vegas, I would think that concern and that market is going to grow.
Yeah. So right now the FAA says you can't fly a drone over people exactly, right over them, but there's ways you can get crowds, crowd shots. So some of those things are being done. I mean, you can get approval. If you follow the steps to get approval, you can get, jobs like that. There's a lot more risk involved, but it is a way to showcase live events. So live events like races, runs, festivals, that'll soon happen. It might happen with the blimp camera. You never know. Some people think the blimp cameras could be old technology compared to the drones. But the way it's built in Germany, it has proprietary software built inside the brains of this blimp. So it has stabilization. It has similar to GPS mode outside. So everybody knows you connected drone. How many in here have flown a drone before? Okay, so you connected the drone to GPS to just hover right in front of you, right? Well, with the blimp, it's they have a stabilization mode. So when you're pitching forward, it's not just rolling over, It'll stay flat and it knows it's zero position. So the technology is definitely there. We just got to get it out there. Yes?
Last question. What can 1 million cups do for you?
Okay, that's a good question. Well, I think what you guys are doing already, you guys invited me out to speak. You're already talking about ways to connect me with people. That's definitely a way that, you guys can help me. And, it could be reciprocated. You never know. There's a lot of different ways that I can help you guys and work with you guys. But yeah, that's definitely, I definitely thank you guys for inviting me out here to talk about the business. I'm very excited about it. And, we're looking to grow and expand, and this is just one step. So thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.